Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Virtue Reality. This is your host, Joseph. On this week's episode, we have on my friend Jason Lugo. He's a upcoming boxer in the Las Vegas area, and we basically had a really interesting conversation on his journey through his career as a boxer, and also where he is currently in his career as a boxer and in just life in general. He really informed me a lot about boxing, and especially how to move through the boxing industry and to become recognized and gain recognition in that industry. He also does foreign exchange trading through Forex and some other trading brokers. So if you are interested, definitely keep tuned. And here's our conversation on boxing and the foreign exchange market. So, this is going to be quite a different podcast. We are live this time. First video. But I'm here with Jason Lugo. He is a local boxer, future professional boxer here. But, so how long have you been boxing? How long has that been a thing that you like to do?
A solid 9 years, coming up on 10.
And then what actually got you into it? Was it a person? Was it your mother?
My mother. No, it was my friend Eddie from back home. He was a childhood friend that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And what?
No, keep
Oh,
going.
okay. Yeah, so we had grown up together, and then in high school, my freshman year, he kept finally telling me dude, you should just come to the boxing gym with me. You should come to the boxing gym with me. And so finally, I was like, fine, I'll fucking go. So we went, and then the whole time he was just doing his thing, and I was like, oh, okay, you're not gonna show me around. So I started talking to the other guys and all that, and then this one kid there was showing me around and showing me his trainer, and I was like, okay, cool. So then I showed up the next day, and then that's when we kind of got started, and then from there I just never stopped. I just kept going. I never stopped not going.
And this is you said 9 years ago, so probably 16. How old are you? 23?
No, 24.
Whatever. So you're about 18.
No, it was when I was 15.
I knew I was gonna say that. That was my next guess.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So, and then did you feel like you were drawn to it? Did you felt like you were out of place at all? Were you good from the beginning, kind of thing?
It kind of reminds me of a Karate Kid kind of thing, because in the beginning it moved really slow, and I don't know, it was never I was drawn to it, or I was this is my thing all of a sudden. It was just a gradual thing that happened, and yeah, going back to the Karate Kid thing, where it was a slow process. The beginning of me learning how to box was such a slow process, because I would show up there and for a week straight I was just learning how to walk, just back and forth.
You said walk?
Yeah.
What is what's the difference between regular walking and boxing walking?
Well, because you got to get in your stance, you got to have your hands up, and the way you have your feet positioned, yeah. And that took me forever to learn. I think, I don't know, but spent a whole week just doing that.
So prior to you getting into yourself, did you watch boxing? Did you were inspired by any boxers?
No, I didn't watch boxing at all. Here and there when there was the big Floyd fights,
yeah.
But
what about wrestlers? Any wrestlers?
Nah, I didn't even watch wrestling. I knew it was fake before everybody knew it was fake. I was like, what?
But so you didn't. That's weird. So the guy, do you still talk to the friend that got you into boxing?
Yeah, I still
okay,
do.
well then that's still good.
Yeah.
It's weird because normally a person would be more into fighting, wrestling, stuff like that. Were you on the wrestling team?
No, but I don't know. It's because I was always super into fighting though. in my mind, because I was always watching anime
Those
and
fight.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
Okay.
would always like play fight.
I can see that with like your brothers. And they're
Yeah.
you have twin brothers. How old are they?
16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't play fighting with them.
I was. I was.
10 years old.
And they would
No.
just always cry.
Crazy. So like recently, have you? I know that you have some scars right now.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a match or was it just training?
Just training, yeah.
And tell me about that.
So
Who
this
punched
happened.
you? Who cut you?
This happened on Thursday, yeah. And I was and this always happens too whenever like my trainer wants me to like do some like crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like so normally to avoid these like my knuckles getting cut up, I would like put Vaseline on my knuckles,
Yeah,
like,
so
on
it
my
slide,
hands.
so it
And then-
slides over easier.
Yeah, and then I would put my wraps on. But no, this time, like, I really hadn't because I was like, it hasn't happened to me in a while. But then today, or the Thursday, he had me doing, like, 100 punches on the mitts.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, like, 100 punches, and then we would just keep going from there. For,
So like it was like rubbing raw, basically.
yeah, it was just,
okay.
it kept rubbing. Yeah, but we were doing that for, like, 4 rounds, just nonstop. So that's, like, 12 minutes straight.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I hate to be told what to do. That's why I can't do stuff like that. Honestly. But so have you? When was your last match?
It's been a long time. It's been like a year ago already. Like, I want to say like September 2019.
That's a good while.
Yeah,
Did you win? Hopefully you won.
I think I lost that one. I was supposed to fight last May but then
May 2020.
yeah.
This is prior to everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So then COVID happened, and then actually it was supposed to be March 2020, but then they moved it to May.
Yeah.
And then everything happened.
Damn. Well, how do you think that would have won? I mean, would you have won? How do you think that would have went?
I don't know. That's a tricky one because I know the guy was like really tall. I think he was like 6'2" or something.
And you were gonna box him?
Yeah.
I thought, isn't it like a weight thing,
Mm-hmm.
classification?
Yes, I mean we were both gonna weigh the same.
Was he like super skinny?
I think so.
See, I just clipped him at the leg.
So I think I definitely had a good chance, and I was training really hard for it at the time.
Maybe. So his reach wouldn't have been a problem for you.
Well, sometimes it's like. Sometimes if you have too much, it's like a problem.
Yeah, because you can be open, like your ribs get fucked up. But
because I fought tall guys before like that.
oh, really? Sick.
But
But so how has? I'm sure it's drastically changed, but has COVID changed the way like training's done, tournaments are ran, things like that? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, for sure. Like there's not really any amateur fights going on anymore, whereas before it was like every month.
Yeah.
Training, is kind of like a little difficult because you never know when the gym's gonna get closed down. One day you go to the gym and it's like closed until who knows when. So you gotta go to another gym that you know of.
You're talking about boxing gyms.
Yeah, boxing
Is
gyms.
Mayweather? That's the one you're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mayweather boxing. Is that one still open?
Yeah, but that one's like kind of up and down because they're open and then they would only kind of stay open for like their close in guys,
Oh, okay. Is it like,
which I was a part of.
oh, okay.
But I mean, recently, like during Thanksgiving, like it like closed, even to like their inner guys.
okay.
Yeah. So then it just kind of barely opened back up, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh shit. So how do you think that because I've been seeing some emails and things like that we're kind of slowly moving back into not normal, but I would say opening back up, people going back to work more. How do you see that benefiting you as a boxer? Like with everything coming back to normal, do you think that you're ready to get back to what you've been doing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm still training all the time. I never really like stopped. Well, I did for a little bit, but I've been at it pretty frequently. Yeah, I think it will help, because with the vaccines and all that, it's going to be more safer,
Mm-hmm.
and then hopefully, going back to work and all that, maybe I'll be in a better routine of things, because
Yeah.
me just not doing anything all day is making me so lazy.
What have you been doing?
Literally nothing. Like, it gets so boring sometimes, because, yeah, nothing. I've just been trying to do, like, the trading thing and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and just boxing, and really, that's only it.
So,
And traveling.
going into the trading part, what is that? Can you just like give me however long it needs to be, discussion about like what foreign trading is, like foreign exchange trading, because it can be overwhelming for some people, and then some people just don't get it because it's too many numbers, too many graphs, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
what is it basically?
Well, so it's basically you're just trading like currencies against each other. So basically, like, let's say you were to go to Mexico right now and you were to exchange your dollars for, pesos. And that's basically like Forex right there
Mm.
already, And the way it works is it's a little difficult to describe in my head. I'm not the best, like, describer of it because I
Yeah.
always kind of forget. But the way it kind of works is like, let's say when you're trading in your dollars for pesos, if when you're hold on, this is like tricky
Go
to
ahead.
describe. Yeah.
We're there. We're at the exchange post. Go ahead.
But basically, like, if you're trading in let's say the dollar amount is like super high,
Yeah.
the US dollar is super high when you're exchanging it for pesos, and then you come back and you exchange those same pesos for dollars again, and let's say the dollar crashed, you would make money off that exchange.
Right.
I don't know if I explained it very
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's kind
But
of like that.
I get it, but for one thing, why is the value different at any point at any time? Do you know that? Like, why does it go up and down? For like, let's say it was $1 to the peso is 10 at this point, whatever it is, and why when you trade it at a certain time of the day, why does it change? Like, why is it going up and down?
Yeah. Okay, so basically it's going up and down for a lot of different reasons, like stocks, how they go up and down, like when something big happens in the news, you'll hear, "Oh my God, the stocks are dropping," and that's basically the same thing with the currency. It drops because of things that happen in the news. It drops because the banks are manipulating the currencies, with their trading also. Um,
Does it also involve the money flow that is like happening in that day? Like, how much money is being spent? How much money is being paid out to people?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Like, probably during Christmas, it's a lot more like
Yeah,
crazier
because it's
time.
like
Yeah,
the whole Black Friday idea.
yeah, a
It's
lot
like
more spending.
things are spending. Yeah. So would that be a time to focus on exchanging currency?
During Christmas
Yeah,
time?
like major seasons, stuff like that, like Easter, Valentine's Day, Christmas, that kind of stuff.
I'm not sure because I'm not that like knowledgeable of it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know like times during the election, for example, they were just kind of like they were just telling us not to trade
Yeah.
because the markets were just too unpredictable.
Yeah, it was like stagnant. Were they stagnant or they? What do you mean unpredictable? Like too up and down or too
Yeah, it was like
not
two up and down, like because there's typical trends and rules that these that it follows, and during times like that, like the election when crazy things happen, it just totally disrespects like those trends and those rules that you see that that are already established for
yeah?
it.
And it's like like free for all basically. And then so if a person were to, I know you're not going to Mexico to trade your dollars for pesos. How would a person start doing that?
Okay, so there's different brokers online that you can go to, like IQ Cent, Pocket Option, where you can just go and you can trade your money there like that. You just put in $100, they'll match you they'll match you 150% of that actually on IQ Cent.
IQ, spell it out.
So it's IQ and then CENT.com.
Okay. And they match 150.
150%. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you put in 100, you'll get 250 to trade with.
So if you put in 5, you'll get, what is that?
Oh,
12? Or
no.
is it only for the 100?
I think it only starts at
Caps
100. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, shit, it's good. But, okay, and then is that the one you mainly use?
Yeah, that's the one I mainly use. I use the other one, Pocket Option, also.
Yeah.
And what's cool about them is that you can have a demo account.
Yeah.
So
I use that one.
Yeah, right.
Wasted all that $1,000.
So it gives you a really nice feel for how it works, and you get to see like, oh, it's not really that complicated.
Yeah. When I was doing it, I did notice, like, obviously because I didn't care about, because it was a fake $1,000. Like, I was just literally just throwing it at the what would you call that? What are they called? They're not called stocks. They're called, what would the moment you purchase be called?
Oh, I think that would be, I'm not too sure, but like that line, right?
Yeah, the line that you create. I was just clicking it and clicking and clicking it. Some of them would go through because, like, I always could see that it was rising, but what kind of stopped me from continuing to put my money in it was the fact that I saw that $1,000 go that fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, that kind of scared me. But how do you do it? What would your strategy to, like, if you were to open your account right now, what would you start doing?
So for me, what makes it really easy is so the what's it called? How do I say it? You know, where I started learning how to trade from was actually through an academy called I Am Academy. And, you know, through there they teach you not only how to trade Forex, but I'm also learning how to trade, like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin right now. So through there they have, like, their different, like, scanners and things like that, and they have this really cool tool that I use called Hourglass. And so what that is basically like an AI, and it tracks the price movements, and it'll give you an up arrow or a down arrow, and that'll tell you, like, where the market's gonna go, And
it is predictive, or it's something separate from the trading brokers that you use.
It works with it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is separate.
Okay.
It is separate, and so what's cool about that is that kind of helps you out with the trading, and I think other traders do it too on their own. There's different, like, types of, like, charts that you look at that give you the same thing, but it's cool because there automatically when you're trading and you're not looking at anything, you have a 50% chance of winning that trade. So right there it's kind of like gambling.
Yeah.
But with looking at those charts and with the AI technology that predicts it and tells you kind of like where the market's gonna go, that kind of increases your chances. They've said up to like 80%.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's basically what I use. And they also have a cool other option, which is like they have their live educators on there. And what they're doing is they're trading with you. So they're going live and they're using their own money and they're trading, like, with you guys. And it's cool because, that's how they make their money. So.
Right. So you're watching them. This is the I Am Academy?
Yeah.
Does it cost money, or is it like subscription? Yeah.
So it costs money, definitely. Then there's different, like, types of packages that you can get. Right now I'm on their elite package, and that comes with, like, learning how to do, the Forex and the crypto and HFX, which is what I trade. HFX is just high frequency Forex, so I think that one's just a little bit more quicker.
Yeah.
And so but basically, through them you can recruit people in, like, under your team and all that, and have, like, a team, so then that kind of, like, offsets your subscription.
Yeah. So, and then when you first got into it, so we work at the same place, and I walked by where you normally work at, and you weren't there. So, like, did you just start with like your last checks there and just kind of like had that roll over? Like, is it that easy to do? Like that you actually like were able to quit your job and like do that like full time?
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you put in the work,
Yeah.
like they're definitely not promising you anything,
Yeah.
Um, it's like with everything else, it's like the amount of work that you put in is
Yeah.
what you'll see, So definitely, yeah, if you put in the work, you can live off of it because all the other people that got me into it were my age and they didn't have, full-time jobs or
Right.
anything.
When I first met you,
Uh-huh.
I thought somebody was beating you up. It was like, freaking black eyes and shit. I was like, and then I was like, oh, he's a boxer. That makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what do you see yourself going as a boxer? Like, have you looked into getting an agent, things like that, like a sports manager?
Not yet. Like, definitely that would be cool though, if I were to have one. Um, you know, I definitely wanted to be pro by now.
Mm.
But, hopefully I can just do it as soon as I can. Hopefully, before this year ends, and I've been saying that for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, before this year ends for sure. I did want to do it in 2020, and then I got COVID, and that kind of ruined everything.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, actually, when you got it, I was like, oh my god, it's real.
Yeah, for real. It was so embarrassing to get it because I was like,
The first one.
I got it, yeah, before everybody started getting it, really,
I still ain't got it.
Yeah,
I wish I did. So.
and then I felt like the guy that was like, I was like the friend that people were like, yeah, my friend has had it.
Oh shit!
You
I'm trying to avoid. I remember that. Or I was like scared to hang around David and shit. That shit was hilarious.
I'm surprised he didn't get it.
Too much. We're not scientists.
Yeah.
We really don't know.
Well, because me and him even shared a drink.
Oh yeah, but who knows? You never even know what part of it, what contagiousness level you were until you really got sick and you had to go to the hospital. But beyond that, you may not have been contagious. You know what I mean? It could have just been in you. Like, but I don't know. It's so weird.
Well, because I did infect somebody else.
You,
I did, yeah. But they didn't get it as bad as me.
There's also one I like. It's not that I wanted to go get it because I was like, I hate being sick, but I did want to see what it was like. Was it like? I know you went to the hospital. Was it that serious?
Yeah, because I had pneumonia with it.
Oh, right.
So I know that everybody that gets COVID pneumonia, they're like on death's door. Basically, they're ventilators, they're ventilated up and all that crazy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't get it. I didn't get put on a
Did
ventilator.
you think that would ruin your boxing career?
For a second there, yeah, I did.
So.
I was scared for a little bit because I was like, I immediately like my first day staying in the hospital. I was like, fuck. I was like, I hope I don't have to get a lung transplant. And
That'd be crazy.
I was like, I hope I don't have like lung scarring. I was scared. I was like, so I was kind of like walking on eggshells too, because even when I got out of the hospital, like cleaning my room, I was out of breath.
Yeah.
So I was like, how the fuck am I gonna do sprints? And
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how long did that last? Like the inability to breathe and stuff like that.
Like.
Still dealing with it. So.
No, not anymore. I would say from like, because I got sick in June, so I would say from June to like September.
Oh, okay.
Is when it, how long it lasted. Like June to August was bad, for sure. September was me getting over it already.
Yeah.
And also because I was pushing myself too. I was still walking around, like doing exercises, running.
Yeah.
So I kind of
told everybody to do because my mother had. I was like, you need to keep walking, just keep walking around.
Yeah, and I for a lot of people when they don't have to do that, they're not gonna do it. And me, like I had to do it, so I think that helped a lot. I think me just being a boxer in general, because even when I noticed I was sick, like that night I was like I did 100 floors on the Stairmaster. I was still doing sprints. So I think like being a boxer saved me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
right,
sure.
and especially if you had it that severely with pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
But so that kind of brings me to the next part. I was going to say, what do you think that boxing teaches you,
Mm-hmm.
like you specifically, and then like what do you think other people get from it?
Me specifically, I guess, definitely it did teach me like about discipline for
Mm.
sure because, I was like there in high school going every day to the boxing gym when I didn't
Yeah,
have to.
right.
I was there I was fighting fights when I didn't have to. Like nobody was pushing me to do this but myself.
Hmm.
Even I'm here, a whole
Yeah,
states away from where I lived.
still boxing.
Still boxing,
Yeah.
and no one's like forcing me to go but myself. So I think it teaches, you know, generally everyone that gets like serious about it, discipline, to like stick with something. Because that was my problem before. I had never stuck with anything before.
Mm.
And when I started doing this, I was like, like this is gonna be my thing. I'm gonna like make sure I stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it taught me. I think for everyone else, yeah, the same thing, discipline and, just hard work and things like that, definitely.
Mm. I would like I said that I don't think that I have discipline. I think I do, but it's a different kind.
Yeah.
But I think because I used to swim, so that was like okay, but I still don't like even with that. Oh, do you want some?
No, it's just like,
I didn't put it there for us to drink it,
or maybe.
but like I didn't like to be told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't tell me to do 10 laps. What if I'm going to do 8?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me feel weird. Or I can't, like, and then I would hope that this is not a thing with boxers and stuff like that, but I would imagine seeing like like the attitude of like Floyd Mayweather or something.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody acted like that, I would not be interested in doing it for long. Like, so I just don't. But
Yeah.
do you think that that's a thing? Like this like attitude of I can beat up anybody is like a thing that's prevalent as boxers.
It's very. I see that. Yeah, I do see it. I don't know. Actually, for the most part, people don't act like that.
Really?
Yeah, boxers don't act like that for the most part. I would say a good 70%, 75% don't act like that. I'll give it. 25% of the other guys do. But for the most part, and I think being in the gym and sparring with people and in this game you're gonna get your ass kicked
Some point.
at some point, and that does kind of humble you. So I
Yeah.
think that plays into why people don't walk around like I can just fuck anybody.
Yeah, everybody. Are the people that the 25% that you say do that? Are they winning or are they not even boxing?
Let's see. They're winning. They are. It's and it's so few and far between that I can't even think of anybody specifically unless they're like one of the higher known guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I've never really known anyone like at my level, I guess.
What do you mean?
Like people that were like starting out, like regular people,
like with that attitude.
yeah,
Okay.
with that kind of
I can see
attitude.
that.
So maybe it's more like 90% of them don't act like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, that may resolve some of my issues. I still wouldn't do it though because I like to be punched.
Yeah.
I'd be very upset. I would probably stop boxing. And then, so what was your worst injury? Or what was your worst, like, I know black eyes, stuff like that. Have you ever broken anything? Any fingers, toes?
That's actually a good question. The worst boxing injury. Definitely, I would probably say, like, I've never had anything, like, serious or long-term before where I was like, oh, fuck. I definitely, one time comes to my mind was a fight, like, a long time ago that I had. I think I had already graduated, and, there you go. Yeah, I had already graduated, and this was a Golden Gloves fight.
Yeah.
And back then, I actually didn't even care about weight classes. I would just show up, and
Just
whatever
fight
I
whoever.
fucking weighed, I would fight. So I think I ended up fighting in the 150 division, in the like 147 to like 153 division.
And what are you normally in?
Normally, now I know I fight in like 130, 135.
Ooh. Get some hair on that chest.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was like a huge step for me. And I remember the guy I fought. He was definitely bigger than me for sure, and I won that fight. Surprisingly, but that fight fucked me up because afterwards I was in the locker room and I felt like dog shit. Like I had a fucking headache.
Yeah.
My hands were shaking. I was like, I remember the guy I fought even went up to me. He's like, "Hey, yo, bro, are you okay?"
We like just beat you up bad. This is what, early match or something?
It was, yeah, I was already like, this is maybe like my 7th fight or something. So I was already kind of like deep in the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could take a beat and say.
Yeah, and then I remember like I got up and my ex-girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, her mom came to me like with her arms open, like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you." She was the first one I saw for some reason. And she gave me a hug, and like I just remember like collapsing in her arms. And then so
depleted.
yeah, and then like it was just a funny sight that always sticks in my head. Like I wish somebody would have taken a picture of that. It would have been like mother and son.
Like, passed out.
Even though that was like, that wasn't my mom. It was my mother-in-law. So I feel like that was a nice moment between me and her. But anyways, I went into the restroom and then I fucking started throwing my fucking guts out.
Why? Oh, because she was like dizzy, like.
I think I had a concussion. I think that's yeah. So I think I had a concussion. I threw up all the food I ate earlier, and then. And then after that, I like remember walking outside of the bathroom, and everyone was like, "Dude, oh my God, you won!" And then, yeah, I won that fight. Oh. Yeah, I won that fight, but at a fucking cost. Right, I was all fucked up. And the shitty thing was, I had to fight again the next day because it was a tournament.
I don't know.
Yeah,
see, that's another thing. Like, I'm in the hospital that night.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I'm dead.
So I went the next day and I fought, and then I lost that one because I was like. I was just in no shape to be fighting again, yeah. Like, I was like, I don't even know. Even today, like, I'm like, how the fuck do they do these tournaments? Like, just the one fight is, like, so fucking emotionally draining as it is, to be honest. Yeah.
And it can last, like, really long periods of time.
Like,
boxing.
Yeah, I've heard of, like, tournaments being, like, 5 days long. And I'm like...
How long does a match normally last?
So a normal amateur match is 3 rounds for 3 minutes each.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like until somebody gets knocked out.
No. But fuck, like just imagine like you getting in that ring for, you're going to be dead fucking tired. It's different when you're fighting somebody, you're another human being. You're
right, because like fights in the street or like in somewhere else are only like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, so you can imagine. 9 whole minutes.
Whatever, it's fun.
Of just.
So if a person gets knocked out in the first minute, the fight's over.
Like knocked out, like they're unconscious as fuck, or they're knocked down, like they're on their knees.
What's the difference?
So. A knockdown is basically like, let's say they get punched and they fall on their ass. That would be a knockdown.
What do you mean, like boom, 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 but they're still like awake?
They're still awake, yeah. They get knocked down on their ass and then they just get back up, or they'll give them an 8 count.
A knockdown, like a knockout.
A knockout would be like
the fight's over.
Like on your back, you're unconscious.
Seeing Tweety Bird.
Yeah, I mean, some people have gotten up, like Tyson Fury. He got up from something like that. So I think definitely amateurs. If you get knocked out like that, it's over.
Oh, okay, just because like you ain't famous.
I mean, no one's getting paid. No one's getting paid for this shit.
Right, to get back up, and you could probably die.
Yeah.
I could see that. Angel getting paid. But and then
A knockdown, though,
no, you're not.
you'll get some chances.
We need to find you a match. Let's see, box. Who do you look to for like career trajectory, stuff like that? Like, how do you model what you want to do after whoever? Is there a person that you look at?
Not any one specifically. Like I take different pieces of everyone's kind of like story and career, and I like to like kind of like go off that.
Yeah.
Like for example, for example, one of my close friends, and I was a sparring partner for a while. I helped him get his world title. Actually, his name's Angelo Leo. He was the former bantamweight champion for the WBO belt, world champion too.
What is bantamweight?
I think that's like the 122 division.
Oh, okay.
And so, definitely with him, like I had known him in the gym and before he had gotten his belt and all that. And I think me and him had moved here to Vegas in the same year in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And so
From Texas?
he came from Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
So I met him out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so like with him, he was doing his thing, and he eventually, we got his title shot and then won. And I'm like, that just really puts it into perspective for me, because I'm like, this guy won a whole world title, and
Yeah.
I was his sparring partner. Like, I know him personally. So it kind of like really puts it into perspective for me that it's not something that's just a dream. Not something that's like far away. It's something that's in my grasp. Yeah, something that could be realistically done. Yeah.
So I know, I don't know how the things are divided. I know that there's amateur wrestling and there's like professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. When do you cross into that?
Wait, did you mean to say boxing or?
Oh my God, yes, whatever, same thing. But boxing, when is that line? When do you cross that line to say I'm a professional now? I can get sponsors and blah blah blah. Like, or is it sectional where it's like amateur, local, state, and then even to the point where it's national amateur, and then when you pass that, that's where you get to professional.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good question actually. So I'm just gonna say this off the bat: anybody can be a professional. Anybody can turn professional. The difference is, you're gonna get fucked up if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you just get a random guy off the street and he does a professional fight, he's gonna get fucked up.
So maybe the question is, what constitutes an amateur qualification and then a professional qualification? Can you go apply at and go fight Mayweather? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So no. So the thing that kind of comes into play is rankings.
Yeah. So
when you fight your first professional fights, and even in amateur fights also, there are rankings. There are rankings in amateur fights once you start fighting at the national level. But in professional side, there's rankings for everybody. So you fight your first two fights, you'll be ranked in the world and in the country that you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people like Floyd, he was always like number one, like top 3. And to get a fight with him, you're gonna have to go through all kinds of hoops. You're gonna have to fight your way just to get ranked to the top 20. Once you get to the top 20, you'll start doing like title eliminators, and that's if you have like good people around you. And so once you get to those title eliminators, then that's when you get your shot for the title, and that's when you get to the spots of like top 10, top 5, top 3.
So, but you can right now start placing in that ranking.
Oh, since I've sparred world champions, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like, what I'm saying is, so, what is it called? What's it like baseball team that's not professional. What is that called? Amateur leagues and stuff like that.
That's so baseball. So right before they turn pro for baseball, that'd be a AAA team. So, so what I am, yeah. So no, I get it.
This is so.
No, so yeah, I'm amateur still. So for
Okay.
like the amateur circuit, there's amateur, and then you fight like you'd fight like a tournament like Golden Gloves, for example, that starts regionally in your city, and you win that, and then you go to the state level where you fight the best in the state.
Right.
You beat them, and then you go to the national level, and then that's when you start getting ranked.
National, but you're still an amateur wrestling. Okay.
Boxing.
Once you
Yeah.
boxing. So, but once you beat, let's just say you won a national title, XYZ, and then so the next, do you go up like into the next like qualification? Like you said, amateur baseball, A baseball, whatever the fuck you said, and then professional. So once you leave and you won the national title in amateur, do you go to the AAA of boxing?
Oh no! So you just stay at that really high level, like because there's all kinds of people fighting at those high levels. Like you got little kids, you got, and that's how they start. Like Floyd and all them, they were fighting at like national tournaments since they were like young, like that, like 9 years old, 10 years old, and so that's why they're so great because people like them have been fighting their whole lives.
So, and then the step that he took after he won his national titles and stuff was just to go compete in professional.
Well, no, for him. So what a good amount of people do is they'll fight in national tournaments and they'll do their thing there, and then they'll go to the Olympics if it all lines up for them, like timing and all that. So they'll go to the Olympics and they'll fight there. And someone like Floyd, for example, he didn't even get a gold medal.
Yeah.
He
was in the Olympics?
Yeah, he got a bronze medal. So a lot of these guys that are in the top were in the Olympics for boxing. And so that's the other option. A lot of the time going to the Olympics isn't it just doesn't line up for you, because it'll be like 3 years away and you're already 18. You're not going to wait 3 years still fighting amateur when you can go pro already. So it really just depends on you. Like once you hit 18, that's when you really want to decide, am I going to go pro now, or should I wait maybe a year or two to keep fighting amateurs and go in the Olympics?
So there are professional level tournaments, and you just find them and you apply to be in them.
They're just I wouldn't say they're professional, I would just say they're very high level.
But you can go and be in it though.
See, that's when it's very tricky too. Like what do you mean? The national tournaments?
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, I can fight in a national tournament. Yeah, you can.
So and then when you start to win those is when you get to the TV boxing rings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even some of those national tournaments are kind of like, well, they're like live streamed and.
Maybe
some of those, yeah.
Like maybe this is
there's just, I mean, it's like with everything. It's like you get to the iceberg and you get
It's like so much shit. I'm like,
there's so much shit at the bottom.
Nah, I'm just like, because I thought that, because when I see boxing on TV, I always think of it as,
the professional guys and they're fighting.
Like I always think of it as like if I made a football team, my football team can't play against the Raiders no matter what they did. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like the confusion that I'm getting into. And I feel like boxing is a little bit different than that because you literally can be one person and they kind of like just be good and to the point where you get on TV.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how it would work.
Okay, well then that makes a little more sense. That was confusing. Well then, okay, so let's get you into a professional, like, what's the name? Let's get you, like, so do you think you could do that? Like, how long do you think it would take you to get to pro?
To pro, I mean, I'm just trying to lose the weight, and then I'm gonna jump into pro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so really, and I've been like fucking up. Like I've been trying to lose this weight since like September, and it's been difficult because I've been like so out of routine. When I was working at the Cromwell, I would just always go after work, go to the gym, eat, and then go run, and then go to sleep, and then do it all over again the next day. And so now I'm like. it's super shitty because now I have all the time in the world, and
Right.
I'm like,
Hard to nail it down.
yeah.
What made you actually quit? Like, I know the Forex stuff, but like, you decided you wanted to go to the cage, and then
Yeah.
what happened?
So, it was, well, definitely, when I got the job, I was already like, I would say 3 weeks in, and then COVID happened, and we were home for like 8 months, so then we came back, and I was like, well, I guess I'll do it. So we came back, and I'm not trying to like throw shade or whatever, but I'm gonna answer these questions as honestly as I can.
Yeah.
No hate to anybody, but I would definitely just say that working at the cage when I came back was like weird, because for one, it was weird just being in that like environment again after being gone for so long. I felt like I had already moved on like mentally, and then to just go back, I just had a different. My motivation for being there was different. Like if I had stayed there, like and COVID never happened, I would have still been working there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I just I had so much time to like think and reflect, during the pandemic and all that. So when I came back, I was kind of like already like whatever, and I was kind of, but I did give it a fair shot. But immediately off the bat, I was only there for 7 days, or 6 days, and immediately off the bat, it was like problems, like oh my god, like there were like, so they gave me 2 documented coachings in the first 6 days. One because like my shirt wasn't ironed. My black shirt. I'm like, bro, who the fuck's gonna see this black shirt behind this cage thing?
That's the problem of the fucking laundry people.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, bro, this is like my first week still, and also because I didn't have all black shoes. I'm like, you guys called me hella last minute. How am I gonna get like a documented coaching? So they were already bitching me for everything, and it was like one of those situations where it was like, no matter what you did, nothing, like you were always going to be in the wrong for something.
Yeah, especially when I'm sure they had like a whole like, let's get him out of here kind of thing, or like they really was like not on your side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they actually did need the staffing, but it was just, they tried to pull us back with 3 weeks of training and just throw us back in like whatever, full force. But we were in graveyard, so we kind of had a little bit more like room to breathe.
Yeah.
But still, like we would do like little things here and there, and it was like you were like just like getting attacked. Like, no, what the fuck? Like, don't ever assume that. I'm like, bitch, I didn't assume anything. That's why I asked you.
Exactly.
So it's like no matter what you did, you were in the wrong.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. There's so many other little things too that I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I was like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna leave. Who else have you had on here?
I've talked to James. I've talked to the drag queen on Yonka. But I've talked to a lot of people I went to high school with. My friend owns a nonprofit in Jamaica. Who else I talked to? It was some random person. I had no idea who they were. But it was interesting. It was like a good amount of conversations that I've had on here.
Nice.
Talk about some spiritual stuff.
Gives you something to do.
It does. It really does. Like, and then I do like, I want to talk about some like more serious topics like racial issues and shit like that, and like politics and stuff. That's going to be interesting. All right, let's try this again. Let's do this outro. All right, I would do. This is Virtue Reality. I want to say thank you to my guest, Jason Lugo. He is a upcoming professional boxer, and he can be found at what's your Instagram page? Where can they find you?
So it's J Bizzle, J_BIIZZLE, J Bizzle.
Follow him, make him famous.
Please.
But please do. But I do hope you enjoy our discussion on boxing and the foreign exchange market. And we are done.